前にしてやれるのは死だけだ。
Hey, what's up, bots? The Brats Gamer 13 here. Alright, the stats are in. We got a winner. We have a victor in this battle. Now, we'll get in these stats with heavy research. Heavy research. I got all the stats and everything I need to know to distinctively get a good outcome onto whether All Might or the One Punch Man, Saitama, would win in a bout. Who would win in a bout between One Punch Man and Saitama? Now, before all the people in my comment section flood me with Saitama's OP, Saitama's a gag character. No, shut your face, alright? For this particular situation, Saitama's gag feats, which in such his ability to not be injured and to finish his opponents with one punch, nah, sucker, that's not how this is going. All right, today the best way, this makes sense. All right, I'm not just completely degrading his character to like a weakling or anything. This is face value, facts from the novels and just intensive research that I had to sit through and get through the internet. And pretty much let's just start off with the boy All Might, the competitor to the great one Saitama. All right, so our boy All Might, I'm gonna be pretty much breaking this down into 3 categories that will pretty much dictate everything. All right. So, when it comes to strength, alright, the greatest feat I could find for our boy, the best thing that in the anime so far that we've seen that All Might can do is dish out mountain level attacks. Now, when you think of Saitama, you're like, oh, come on, mountain level attacks? That's ridiculous. That's stupid. This man right here can dish out mountain level attacks. Alright. Now, with Saitama not being seen to take any damage, it is kind of difficult to, gauge if he would be able to withstand said attacks or to to dish out the same amount. Well, not dish out the same amount. He has different stats from All Might, but since he is a gag character, the anime portrays him as a character who doesn't take damage or someone who just is OP pretty much. But like I said before, for this case, that's not what we're doing here. Now, another factor that we will be dabbling in is durability and speed. Now, durability is pretty much how much can this character in particular take of damage. Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, how are you gonna scale that for Saitama? I'm not, because there's nothing to say that Saitama gets hurt or can actually take damage. So that's actually just a non-variable for this whole situation. Like he's never been seen to take attacks stronger than certain villains. Like in consideration for their situation, I had to scale Saitama's feats off of Boros, who is one of the strongest characters in the anime portrayal that Saitama has fought, and I've had to take his stats in comparison to Saitama's, and thus like pretty much power scale Saitama off of him from their bout. And our boy All Might's durability, at his weakest level, he can take city level attacks. Now you may be thinking of a city level attack, like what does that mean? A city level attack and a mountain attack. I think it's kind of self-explanatory, which when it comes to strength, mountain level attack, if he were to go like all out into like throw a punch, it could destroy like mountain level type of terrain. Like he could destroy mountain levels, like pretty much he could destroy a city with little to no effort, and he could destroy mountains. Like if you ever seen a mountain, like he could destroy that. All right, moving on. But durability means pretty much in his weakest form, he's been seen to fight a character named All for One, and All for One is pretty much the strongest villain so far in the anime to present himself, and in his weakest form with like he has All Might is known. If you don't know All Might in particular, he has two different forms. He has his pretty much superhero Chad form, which is the one you're looking at right now, and then he has his base form, his normal form, his form where he doesn't have the crazy strength feats and stuff and such. And when he was fighting All for One, he had to handle that. And while protecting some civilians, he had to take attacks from All for One, and these attacks could be scaled to city level because when he threw off the attacks, they're in the surrounding area around him. He was destroying pretty much the city just around him, and All Might was pretty much handling those attacks and just getting through with them, and he was holding back at that. So even with that, he was still being held back in his weakest form. And last but not least, we are going to go into speed feats. Now, I do not have calculations for his combat speed in comparison to his actual speed, and the difference between combat speed for an example would be like Usain Bolt can possibly run faster than Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lee most likely could punch faster. And like if they got into a fight and Usain Bolt just ran off, Bruce Lee would not be able to catch him. But if it was a battle between, like, if he was throwing fists, that doesn't compare. Like, his speed feats on running doesn't also equivalent to like him punching as fast. Bruce Lee would out punch Usain Bolt, but Usain Bolt, if he had to run or something, he could outrun Bruce Lee for whatever situation. And surprisingly enough, our boy All Might has a lot of feats for his speed, and there's a lot of scenarios in which there's a lot of outliers in pretty much what's his top speed and what's not his top speed. The guys have different the guides in the anime differ a little bit, and to say, oh, he's as in some guides he is to say he's fast as a bullet train, but for the feats that they are, having in this anime, a bullet train is to, like, the extreme low ball. Like, I'm talking like if you wanted to degrade his character and as his stats, to say that he was a bullet train is like it doesn't make sense for what he's been doing, because there's feats in the anime in which a bullet train would not be able to isn't capable to do what All Might does. All right, like to say that'd be like if the creators and let me say the creators, sorry, I got stuck for there for a little bit. I mean, that'd be like to say, oh, Saitama is as fast as a bullet, but in the anime, he's been able to travel literally pretty much in a couple of seconds or close to an instant from the moon to the earth. There's no way a bullet could get from the moon to the earth in that close of an instant. That'd be like an extreme low ball, and you wouldn't necessarily take that stat seriously. But with everything in mind, and like I said, extreme research, our boy All Might is light level. Pretty much he is as fast as light. He can move his body as fast as light, not faster than light, not like less than light, but just as fast. Like, his movements are equivalent to those of light itself. And yeah, that's the stats for our boy All Might. Now for the stats for our boy Saitama. Now we're getting into the department of what matters. All right, this is the determining factor of who will win, who has the better stats in a fight. All that really matters is if your stats are better than the other individuals. If you have a certain quality, like let's say All Might was faster than Saitama, even though he wouldn't be, like, let's say he's not more durable, he would be able to outrun. So Saitama, even if he had these like mountain level attacks or something, or if he could just one punch him like it does in the anime, he wouldn't be able to catch him. So it wouldn't really matter because he'd be throwing out all these punches, but none of them would be landing because All Might would be faster. So to actually start off, let's go to the speed feat. Sorry about that. Saitama, once again, like I said before, has been seen. His greatest feat is to have seen to travel from the moon and to the Earth, pretty much like instantly. Not necessarily instantly, but in a couple of seconds, and that would equivalent to. We've seen our boy Saitama been able to jump from the moon to planet Earth in pretty much fairly a couple seconds, and that would equivalent by calculations, by rough calculations, like I'm talking about. I had to intensive, when I say intensive research, I don't think you guys understand what I mean by like sitting down and actually calculating light speed in comparison to like an individual jumping from the moon to planet Earth. Like that is extremely difficult. But the calculations come down to pretty much he is also light speed. So they're in the same speed level. All Might and One Punch Man are comparable. Pretty much they're equal when it comes to speed. You could say Saitama is a bit faster by mere calculations from what I calculated for All Might in comparison to what I calculated for his best feat would be whatchamacallit. The where I got this information, well, not I got this information, where I got the stats for All Might's light speed was from the Bakugo fight where but when he was with Midoriya, Bakugo and Midoriya were facing off against All Might, and in that instance, he was actually weighted, so he might actually be a bit faster than light speed. Nothing too crazy. Probably like 4% light speed to be exact. If my calculators needed to be exact for you guys, he would be 4% light speed by certain feats that occurred in that episode. And all what you call it, Saitama, once again, taking space into account, he could actually be just a little bit faster than light. Nothing too serious, nothing to like overwhelm All Might, like I said before, like the stats being overwhelming to the point where he wouldn't be able to touch him. They'd be tagging each other pretty much in the same way. Durability, like I said before, there's no stats for that. He hasn't been seen to be taking any damage. Now you could say Boros was damaging him from the scuff marks that he did receive from fighting with him, but it wasn't like anything where he was like, "Oh, this hurts" or whatever. That actually hurt me or something like that. He never stated anything of pain or anything like that would say, "Oh yeah, he actually hurt him that time with that punch or something, or that punch like did something to him." But the underlying factor here is Saitama's strength. Saitama's strength, like I said, had to be comparable to Boros. Now, Boros has been stated to have many stats from the webcomic, from the manga portrayal to what is it? The anime. They all range in different stats, but the outlier in the situation, the highest Boros has been said to dish out is star level attacks, but it's not consistent. That's one claim out of multiple claims saying that he is either planet level to starish to surface planet level. Now, the calculation I'm going for is planet level. So we're talking Saitama is out here dishing out planet level attacks, or he would punch All Might with the power to destroy planets, and All Might is only counteracting these punches with mountain level attacks. I don't know if you know, but the planet itself, planet Earth, is much greater than mountains. All right, like even if you like, that's really ill. It is. So they would be taming it, like if they would be attacking at the same light speed. You could say All Might has, if you were to say Boros was actually hurting him with the scuff marks, even though it wasn't stated, you could say his lowest feat would be his durability would amount to something close to like continental level, or not sorry, the highest you could say is continental level due to Boros's feats in the anime and in the manga. but the lowest you could say is also city level, and that would be comparable to All Might. So his durability would be the same, but the strength output of one Saitama is significantly greater than All Might's, which is a mountain in comparison to a planet. So that's all it is to it. Saitama takes the cake because he's just physically stronger. He has that power to one punch his opponents. I hope that you guys enjoyed the little discussion, and if you have any questions or want to counteract my debate with anything, any stats that you guys found to see, and I might have to come back to this because there's a season 2 of One Punch Man coming out soon, so he might actually be weaker in season 2 and or stronger. Who knows? I'll know and you'll know when it comes out. But until then, I have to see you bots in the next video. So, log out, bots.